Alright fuckers, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a Football Manager 2018 experiment, 5 years into Scottish football. We've covered Rangers, we've covered Celtic, we've covered Hearts, St Mirren, and now the fifth team we're going to cover is Hibernian. Now straight away you see their reputation is 3.5 stars. They start out at 2.5, so they've went up a full star in the first 5 years, which tells me they've had a pretty good 5 years. Finances are secure. Owner status, he loves the club. Average ticket price 28 quid. Average season ticket price 485 quid. And they've got 13,981 season ticket holders. Club captain is still Paul Hanlon, so he's still at the club. Vice captain is Rhys James. Squad personality is determined. So we'll see how they got on here. And have they had a successful 5 years in Scottish football? So we'll cover season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you know, we'll start off first with the transfers. I'll make my expectations, predictions on how I think they'll do that season. Then we'll look at the league table, and then we'll cover the rest of the schedule, which includes big important matches in the league, the domestic cup runs, and European cups if necessary. So without further ado, let's check out the transfer signings for the first season here. So Hibernian not doing much at all, bringing in Liam Henderson from Celtic on a loan, and Scott Ferry for Queen's Park on a free, who I'm assuming isn't that good. They've let go of Martin Boyle, Paddy Martin and Fraser Murray, all going out on loan. So Hibernian not spending any money, not earning any money in transfers. Kind of hard to predict how they're going to do here. They've got a decent squad, but I think to maybe, go up the next level, try and challenge, the likes of Rangers and Aberdeen. I think they had to spend a wee bit of money. They haven't done it. We'll see how they get on though. Alright, so Hibernian coming in 6th place, and like I predicted, I thought they would struggle, and they kind of have struggled. Although, to be honest, it is a return to the top flight, first season back. I'm pretty sure if you offered them a top 6 finish, they would have took it. But to finish on only 52 points, narrowly scraping past Motherwell, just an underwhelming season for Hibernian. Partick Thistle had a shocker, look at that, man. A shocker in a good way, 59 points, finishing 3rd. And Hibernian, I suppose they only finished a point behind Aberdeen, only finished 4 points behind Hearts. There wasn't much in it, but I feel as if maybe they just spent a wee bit of money, maybe they brought in a couple of decent players, maybe they would have finished a few higher places up the league table. So the first season, they had an absolute shocker in the Betfred Cup, lost 3 out of the 4 games, including 3 penalty shootout losses to Livingston, Hamilton and Forfar. They also lost Stevenson's testimonial game against Villarreal 3-0. So terrible start to the season for Hibs. They then didn't kick off the Premiership much better, losing to Partick Thistle and then losing to Rangers. 3 wins in a row. Form picked up a wee bit there. And you can see the dreaded losses kicking in. Scottish Cup 4th round, got knocked out against Partick Thistle. Not good. Hamilton, they got beat out of Hamilton. And I checked the manager stats a wee second ago. And the 28th of February is an important day, because that is the day that Neil Lennon got fired as Hibernian manager. So, interesting to see how they pick up from here. And then look at that, man. They fire Neil Lennon. Next game is the Edinburgh Derby against Hearts, and they pump Hearts 4-1. Goals for Simon Murray twice, Barker and Devidas Mitrovic, condemning Hearts to a 4-1 defeat at Easter Road. Almost a complete sellout. Hearts brought just over 1,000 fans there. And you can definitely see since Neil Lennon got the sack there that Hibernian form has picked up drastically, albeit they did lose 2 games in the Championship. Premiership Championship group to Celtic and Aberdeen. And then they got a draw against Partick, another win against Hearts, this time at Tynecastle, and then they finished off the season with a draw to Rangers. So overall, I mean, the Neil Lennon era, I guess he did get them up, but in this game he didn't do that well, did he? He got them knocked out the cups. He couldn't even get out the group stage of the Betfred Cup. That is pretty shocking. But once he got sacked on the 28th of February, the form did pick up. So we'll have a quick look here. Well, the new manager was Steve Clarke. That kind of explains things. Massive fan of Steve Clarke. He's undoubtedly been the manager of the season this year in the Scottish Premiership, and I think he can do good things at Hibernian. It'll be interesting to see how that partnership gets on. But anyway, there you go. Can improve on a poor first season. Let's find out. And then we can see Steve Clarke spending the money, bringing in reinforcements to try and get Hibernian further up the table. You notice 700k for Paul McMillan from Dundee United, the mega signing of this season. Also bringing in Jamie Lindsay for Partick Thistle, which I believe is a good signing for them. And Scott Bain from Dundee as well. Mark McNutty from Coventry. Definitely some good players there Hibernian have brought in. Who did they get rid of though? Unfortunately, Martin Boyle is gone. Liam Fontaine is gone. Dylan McGew is left. Weaves went to Rangers for 550k. Stephen Whittaker's gone. Fraser Murray's gone. So Hibernian, they're bringing in some good players, but also losing a few good players. So it's interesting to judge how they're going to go on this season. I think they'll do better than 6th because I believe they underperformed, and they do have Steve Clarke now, so it will be interesting to see, but definitely losing a few key players there for them, especially Dylan McHugh. Let's find out though how they got on in Season 2. Season 2 sees Hibernian move up 2 places in the league, this time finishing on 59 points, finishing above their Edinburgh rivals Hearts, but unfortunately they got beat into 3rd place by Hamilton, just finishing 1 point shy. And so Hamilton, the major success of this season, it was Partick Thistle the first time around. This time now it's Hamilton, and Hibernian there 51 goals for, 40 goals against, and they picked up a shitload of wins. You can see, man, I'm not going to go through them all, but they did pretty well. 4 places, they're definitely on the upwards. Let's see how they got on in the cups. Well, straight away you can see the Steve Clarke effect is working. It's just a sea of green, isn't it, man? All you can see is green. I'm not talking about the green background or the green badge of Hibs or the green shirt. I'm talking about the fucking green wins. Look at that. Alright, they lost their first game to Toulouse, and then holy shit, man. Green, 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 green. If that green was money, fucking Hibernian would be rich as fuck. But unfortunately it's not. It's just a sign to show that they've won games. This time convincingly getting out the Betfred Cup, winning all 4 matches. Kicking off the Ladbrokes Premiership with a 3-0 win in Tynecastle. That is tremendous, man. That's great. Steve Clarke, man, take a bow. Beating St Mirren in this Betfred Cup 2nd round. Then beating Partick Thistle in the quarter final. How far can they go? Okay, they lost the semi-final to Celtic at Hampden, but you know that's not no shame in that. Although Anthony Ralston did get sent off in the 35th minute, so I don't know, maybe they'll feel as if they should have got back into the game, but they didn't. 2 goals for but Sheila, sending Hibernian home.
Soviet Russia.
No, it's no Soviet Russia as Gaming Jesus just comes through the Xbox speakers. It is Hampden, Glasgow, and Hibernian, like I said, are out of the Betfred Cup. So let's move on here. After that Betfred, look at that, man. They've got 4 losses in a row. That's terrible. Can they bounce back for that, man? Well, they can bounce back because the next time they played Celtic, they kicked their ass. 3-1 win. Goals for Simon Murray, Mark McNulty and David Gray getting the win for them at Easter Road. And then we're moving on. More wins. Holy shit, look at that. 6 wins on the bounce. Including another one over Hearts. I think that's them beat Hearts twice this season, isn't it? Yeah, twice, aye. And they beat them twice last year when Steve Clarke came in. Steve Clarke has a 100% winning record against Hearts. That's a great going there. Scottish Cup 4th round, they advanced against Morton. And they beat Celtic again, this time at Celtic Park. Tremendous stuff. 2 goals for Davides Mefalucic. Unfortunately, their run has came to an end against Hearts. They've lost at Tynecastle. Connor Salmon getting the goal. They lost in the Scottish Cup 5th round. And then their form towards the end of the season was a bit patchy, to be honest. And yeah, oh my, it's mental to think that all they needed was just a draw here, and it would have turned one of these losses into a draw, and it would have got them at 3rd place instead of Hamilton. But I mean, they're just after that Scottish Cup 5th round loss to Hamilton, their form kind of did go out the window. And if it wasn't for that, Hibs would have probably finished 3rd pretty comfortably. But all in all, I think that's a much better 2nd season. Got to the semi-final of the Betfred Cup, and they finished 4th in the league. So close to getting 3rd. I think things are looking good for Hibernian. I'm sure if they can get another good transfer window here, then they can climb the table once again next year. Alright, so the third season of transfers, and this is what you need to see. Hibernian spending 1.4 million, trying to be ambitious, trying to invest in the squad. And let's look at some of the players they've brought in. Matthew Knox on a free for Livingston. Potential to be really good. A Scottish wonder kid. Will he be a wonder kid for Hibernian in the future? They're bringing in Michael O'Halloran for Rangers, 185k. Jordan McGee for Falkirk, 245k. Stuart Finlay for Newcastle, 200k. Hallam Hope for Carlisle, 180k. Clark Robertson and James Jones from Swindon, 425k. A lot of players Hibs have brought in there. They've improved the squad a shitload, to be honest. It's going to be very interesting to see how they get on this season. I'm predicting big things for Hibs. Let's see who they've let go, though. They let go of a bunch of players. Mark McNulty there went for 57k, and that's it. Everyone else was either on a free or a loan. So Hibernian improved the squad a lot. Haven't really lost anybody that's key or significant. So I'm predicting a big season ahead here for Hibs. I'm going to say top 3 finish at least. And I was just about right. Hibernian finishing third in the Scottish Premiership, finishing above Rangers. They probably thought that would have got them second, but no, they've been beaten to second by their Edinburgh rivals Hearts, and that must be a tough pill to swallow. Hibs actually had the second most amount of wins in the league table. 20 wins out of 38, 2 more wins than Hearts, but unfortunately Hearts picked up a lot more draws, and it was the 13 losses to Hibs that hurt them the most. Hearts only lost 6 games in total, only Celtic had a better record than that. So, just goes to show you that it's not always wins that wins you league tables, championships, shit like that, man. Sometimes snatching points instead of defeats can actually, in the long run, benefit you. So there you go. Hibs finishing third, a point above Rangers, 3 points behind Hearts. They've made more progress. Let's see how they got on in the Cups. Alright, so Hibernian also having European football this season, which is a nice little bonus for them. Their first tie was against Trans. Was that a team of transsexuals? I'm surprised that they run away, man. Fucking don't play them. Run for your fucking lives. Probably ambush you and rape you in the dressing room. But anyway, they managed to get past them 9-1 on aggregate to get into the second round. Then they came up against Kugeski. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. But who cares, really, at the end of the day. They beat them 6-1 on aggregate. And then they got in the third qualifying round Dynamo Minsk. And they beat them 4-3 in aggregate. That's a very good win. John McGinn getting a double away in Russia to secure the win. Was that Russia or are they Belarus? I don't know. I'm going to go... I think they're Belarusian, actually. Let's check. Belarusian. See, I know my shit, guys. I know my fucking shit. So there you go, man. Great stuff there for Hibs. They got into the fourth qualifying round, which is the last qualifying round. Unfortunately, they lost at home 2-1 to PAOK, and then in the away leg, they lost again 2-0. So a 4-1 defeat in aggregate. Disappointing. It means Hibernian will not make the group stage, but they did do well to easily get past the first 2 rounds, and then a good win over Dynamo Minsk. And that will help the Scottish coefficient and the Hibernian coefficient. It would have been better to see them in the group stage, but you know what? Life sucks, and then you die. And this season, Hibs have died in the Europa Cup fourth qualifying round. So I don't know if I don't know if the qualifying games here have had the effect, but I've noticed their league form is not the best. Certainly, when you compare it to last season, they've dropped a lot of points there. Beat St Johnstone in the Betfred Cup quarter final, moved on to the Betfred Cup semi final, beat Dundee. So Hibernian are in a cup final. Are they going to get a win? Yes! Hibernian have beat Rangers in the Betfred Cup final. Goals for Simon Murray and John McGinn at Hampden, giving Steve Clark his first piece of silverware, his first trophy at the Hibbies. And even no matter what happens here, well, we know they've had a great season. They finished third. They've won the Betfred Cup, and they got past 3 teams in Europe. You can't ask for much more than that from a Hibs perspective. And they're still in the Scottish Cup, man. So this could be one of the all-time greatest Hibs seasons if they can pull off a cup double. Can they do it? 4th round Scottish Cup. They beat Forfar 4-1. The double is on, guys. The double could happen. 5th round, they beat Ross County. Who got the goals in that? Matt Lukevich and Effie Ambrose. The double is actually fucking on. I don't believe it. Quarter final, they beat Hamilton, man. David Gray and Paul Hanlon. Can Steve Clark do the unthinkable? I don't believe it, man. Scottish Cup semi-final. They beat Motherwell 2-1. They're moving on to Hampton in the final. Who are they going to be getting? Holy crap, they beat Celtic 3-1 in the final. Steve Clark is a god. Steve Clark is Jesus. Jesus in disguise without the hair. That's mental, man. How the hell have Hibs did that? Sacked Neil Lennon. Had a solid second season. Third season, they've completely smoked it, man. Finishing third. Having a good run in Europe and winning both domestic cups. The goals in the final came for a Matt Lutfich brace and a John McGinn goal in the 32nd minute. Scott Sinclair got on the score sheet for Celtic, but it wasn't enough for the Glasgow team. So there you go, man. Tremendous season there for Hibernian. The form towards the end, it really did save them. It looked as if they probably would have finished a lot lower without that impressive form towards the end in the league. But they got the wins when it mattered. That meant they finished third and they've won the Scottish Cup and the Betfred Cup final. That's tremendous, man. Be interesting to see if they invest going into season 4 here, because you feel like now is the time that Hibs really need to start spending and, you know, capitalise on this success, keep the momentum going rather than just sit back and hoping they can maintain this. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on in season 4. Let's go look at the transfers. Okay, so I wanted Hibs to go out and capitalise and, you know, double down on their great season, invest, try and push on, and unfortunately the exact opposite has happened. Yes, they've spent £1 million, they've brought in a few decent players which we'll cover in a moment, but they've sold 6.75 of their team. And we'll cover that right now. Jordan McGee, they've let him go on a free. And there is the big, that is the killer. To me, that is the one that could define their season. John McGinn, leaving Hibs, going to Celtic for 6.5 million. And yeah, albeit yes, the rest of the players that they've sold maybe are fringe players. Anthony Stokes, they're going to Portsmouth. Maybe they haven't sold as many players as I thought, but I'm pretty sure that John McGinn will have a massive effect on Hibs. Every time I'm looking at the score sheet, every time I'm looking at the games, it's John McGinn, it's John McGinn, it's John McGinn. He's been a crucial part for Hibs in these first 3 seasons, especially last year, helping Hibs getting a double in the Scottish domestic cups. And I think they could struggle without him big time. I'm looking at the players they've brought in here. They've brought in Callum Connolly, they've brought in Josh Windass. So, I mean, some good players there, but I don't see anyone taking over from John McGinn. Is this Callum Connolly? Like, what position does he play in? He doesn't even play for Hibs anymore. He's already a Charlton player, so it looks like he's left within 2 seasons. So, who knows? Have Hibs. They sold Dylan McGough last season, now they've sold John McGinn. They're a bit light in the middle of the field. It'll be interesting to see how they got on this year. I doubt they'll be able to repeat their success last season. I don't think they'll finish third. I'm looking at John McGinn. And look at that, he actually plays for Celtic Vigo now, so obviously his Celtic career didn't work out too well, but he does have 28 Scottish caps, so I don't know what's happened there. He's only valued at 3.2 million. Did Hibs do a good bit of business there? Did they sell him at the exact right time and capitalise on his value? Maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe Hibs did a good bit of business there. Let's find out how they got on in the league. Well, guys, maybe I'm an idiot that doesn't know fuck all about football. Hibernian have matched their record they got last season. They put in the exact same results. Look at that. 20 wins, 5 draws and 13 losses. Finishing third once again. This time though, they didn't finish below Hearts. They finished in front of Hearts. It was Rangers who leapfrogged Hibernian, and it sees the Edinburgh side remain in third place. So yeah, a good season there. I didn't think they would bounce back and finish that high up the table after losing John McGinn, but I was wrong. Let's find out how they got on this time in the domestic cups again. Can they repeat last year's success? And let's see how they got on in Europe. Okay, so they had a Paul Hanlon testimonial, which they lost at Easter Road. No one really cares, so I mean, it's basically a fucking fancy name for a friendly. No one's going to cry about that. Knocked out of the Betfred Cup second round against Dundee. That's a shame. They'll be disappointed with that. Going out at the earliest possible stage for them. And, so the coefficient must have went up for Scotland because they went directly into Europa League group stage. Didn't have to qualify for it. And that's interesting. Who did they get in the group stage? They got Karabag, Spartak Moscow and Liverpool. Tough group for Hibs, and they're really feeling it. First game, a 2-2 draw away from home against Karabag, which is a decent result. Goals for Josh Windass and Simon Murray, getting Hibernian the point. And then at Easter Road, they got a draw against Spartak Moscow, another really good result. Dividas Matalufic equalised for Hibs with 5 minutes to go. And then third game came up against Liverpool at Easter Road. Unfortunately, they lost 2-0. Goals for Jonathan Henderson and newly transferred Olivier Giroud. He must have just joined Liverpool. That double there, putting Hibs to a 2-0 defeat. So 2 points after the first 3 games. It's looking unlikely Hibs are going to get past this group stage. Second game, they've lost to Liverpool at Anfield by 2-0. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Rodrigo getting the goals. Hibs really, to have any chance, they need 2 wins out of the last 2 games. Are they going to get it? No, a draw against Karabag. And then a big 3-0 tanking to Spartak Moscow. So that's Hibs out of Group F. They did manage to finish third, but a long way off getting through in the next round. Liverpool and Spartak Moscow finishing way in front of the other 2 teams. After that, though, they did begin to pick their form up, managed to get a few wins together, got into the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup. They beat St Mirren, so Hibs into the semi-finals once again. Holy fuck, they beat Aberdeen at Hampden, so Hibs with a 2-1 win over Aberdeen. Goals for Devidas Mitalufic and Ashley Hunter, getting into the Scottish Cup final for the 2nd consecutive season. Can they do the unthinkable? Can they win back-to-back Scottish Cups? Holy fuck, they can! For some reason, they've come up against Dunfermline. I did not expect Dunfermline to be in the final, but you can only beat who's in front of you, and that's exactly what I've done, which Hibernian have done with a penalty kick shootout. Ryan McLaughlin, Ashley Hunter getting the goals, cancelling out James Scott and Aaron Black. Dunfermline twice took the lead in that match, and they'll be disappointed that they couldn't get the win. Dunfermline only took 7,263 fans to that tie. Shocking. It's a big cup tie. You're probably not going to be there again for, God knows how long. I thought Dunfermline would have took more fans to it. So you go though, Hibs again in their 4th season, winning the Scottish Cup once again. So, Steve Clarke, he's come in, he's got them into Europe twice. He has won Scottish Cup twice, and he's won the Betfred Cup twice, and he's finished third back-to-back. That's in the league. That is tremendous for Steve Clarke. How far can he go in the 5th season? I really hope Hibs spend some money, invest in this team, and keep a hold of their key players, man. For fuck's sake, whatever you do, don't sell Davidas Matalufic because he's been banging in the goals for fun. So, Hibs spending a lot of money, the most money they've spent by far in this series, bringing in Jamie Burjonis for Rangers, 1 million. Fraser Preston from Sheffield Wednesday, 1.2 million. Ansiti Bisambi for some Shanghai team in China, 1.2 million. Aidan Molson on loan for Rangers. Reece James for Rangers, 650k. Stevie May for Aberdeen, 1.1 million. George Saville from Millwall, at least it's not Jimmy Saville, 1 million. Hibs splashing the fucking cat. Kenny McLean for Aberdeen, 425k. Douglas King for Rangers, 150k. Stephen Hendry for Hamilton, 550k. Holy shit. And Jamie Vardy on a free transfer. Are you shitting me? Jamie fucking Vardy on a free transfer, man. That's mental. That is absolutely mental. Jamie Vardy, will he be partying at Hibernian this season? We're about to find out. Before we do, let's have a quick look at who they've sold on. A bunch of players are leaving on a free. Ryan Portrose went to Hamilton. More players going out on loan. Niall Keown going to Dunfermline, 54k. And the big selling point for Hibs, Brendan Galloway going to Celtic for 5 million. So Hibs, they've been accused of being the Celtic's B team in the past, and you can't really deny it here. They keep selling their best players to Celtic, and they keep doing it even in Football Manager. Come on, Hibs, get a grip. Just say no. Fucking refuse. Tell Brendan Rodgers to go fuck himself. Go and go sign someone else, man. Right. So based on these signings, I think, can Hibs finish second this year? I think they can. Obviously, it will depend on how Rangers did, but I think Hibs will at least finish third. I think they've made very good progress here. let's see how they got on in the 5th and final season. So, Hibs, you could argue they've actually made progress. They've got the highest point tally of this series, but they've dropped a place to 4th. Aberdeen having a bit of a resurgence. They managed to get 3rd. That is their best finish in the series, so it took Aberdeen's best finish to beat Hibernian. But Hibernian finishing 4th, I don't think they'll be too disappointed with that. They're not really at the stage where they can expect to challenge Celtic. They might be disappointed that maybe they couldn't give Rangers a better battle for 2nd place. But to be fair, we don't know the kind of money Rangers are spending, so it's hard to judge, man. But for Hibs, I think they've did alright there, man. It's another top 4 finish for Steve Clarke. Once again, they'll be in Europe, and everything is going pretty well for them. And once they finish again, above Hearts again, so that's one of the most important things, isn't it, from a Hibernian point of view. Right, let's see how they got on in the Cups. Right, so they kicked off the Ladbrokes Premiership season to an away defeat to Motherwell. Not the best start, Paul Hanlon getting sent off in the 62nd minute. Then they got a draw at Easter Road against Rangers. Advanced to the next round of the Betfred Cup. Picked up a few wins, but here's the important thing. Let's look at the Euro Cup group. They got drawn in Group L against EA Gungamp, Shakhtar Donetsk and PAOK. How did they do? So they lost 1-0 their first game away in France. Sadiq Lesecure getting the winner there for Gungamp. Not good. Then in Easter Road, they lost 2-1 to Shakhtar Donetsk. So Hibernian here do not seem to be doing that well in the Europa League group stages. They're definitely finding it a bit more difficult. Let's see how they got on their 3rd game. Away in Greece, and they got a draw against PAOK. I mean, that's not a bad result, I guess, but it's highly unlikely that with 1 point for the first 3 games we're going to go through now. Oh my god, look at that. 3-0 at Easter Road. PAOK getting really doing them in there. It was only 1-0 up to the 88th minute, and then 2 late goals giving them a 3-0 win. Maybe looking a bit harsh. Probably harsher on Hibs than the reflection of the game actually was. And then another home defeat, this time to EA Gungamp. Philip Barker getting sent off in the 18th minute. Hibernian just not been able to deliver in Europe. And in their last and final game of the group stage, they got beat in Ukraine 2-0 to Shakhtar Donetsk. In the middle of that, they also lost the Betfred Cup semi-final to Hearts, their Edinburgh rivals. So, I mean, in the Cups this season have been dreadful for Hibs. Having a terrible time. Scottish Cup 4th round out, they managed to progress against Gretna 2008. And then beat St Mirren in the Scottish Cup 5th round. So Hibs here making a habit of beating St Mirren, and they're into the quarter-final. Beating Motherwell at Firhill, or Fir Park, whatever Motherwell Stadium's called. Goals with Fraser Preston and Davidas Mitalutvich there, getting Hibs into the semi-final. And Hibs once again going to Hampden. They beat Hamilton in the Scottish Cup semi-final, and for the 3rd year in a row, Hibs are in the Scottish Cup final. They're going to Hampden, but can they do the unthinkable? Can they win 3 Scottish Cups back to back to back? 3 consecutive Scottish Cups. It's unthinkable. It's almost undoable. Is it impossible though with Steve Clarke? We're going to find out. No, it's not. Holy fuck, they beat Rangers in the Scottish Cup final at Hampden on a penalty kick shootout. And the goals came from Ansett by Sambo and Jamie Fardy. Jamie Fardy having a party. He'll be drinking his WKD all night long. The 2 new signings getting the 2 goals for Hibernian. And man, that's absolutely fantastic. We'll have a quick look here at the match, see how they got on. So let's have a look here. George Shimmy Sabo got booked. So Rangers having slightly more possession than Hibs, more shots. Hibs can commit more fouls, but none of the stats really matter. The main stat is the scoreline, who lifts the trophy, and that was Hibs. So well done to them. That's their 5th, 5-4. They've won on penalties. I wonder who was the guy that missed for Rangers. Will it tell us? It probably will. Well, it's not telling us, but it probably should. I can't see it, but we get the point, man. We know what happened. Hibs have won 3rd Scottish Cup in 3. Who missed? Oh wait, Hanlon missed a penalty? So Hanlon missed for Hibs. And Lingard, Jesse Lingard, who's playing for Jesse Lingard playing for Rangers, mental, and he missed for Rangers. That gave Hibs their third Scottish Cup in a row. So there you go, man. Tremendous stuff. After 5 years, Hibernian have won 4 fucking trophies, man. That's unthinkable. It's absolutely unthinkable. Let's have a look here. Steve Clark. There you go. He's been in the job for 4 years, 184 days. Cup wins 4, yet to win the league, but who knows? Can he win the league in the next 5 seasons? I wouldn't put it past them. We all know Celtic are going to be almost impossible to topple at the top, but if someone can do it, if anyone can do it, maybe it can be Steve Clark, Hibernian. He's got a 52% win record, and there you can see there is his career milestones. Betfred Cup winners in 2019, Scottish Cup winners 2020, Scottish Cup winners 2021, and Scottish Cup winners 2022. Fantastic stuff there from Hibernian and Steve Clark. And that is where we're going to end this series. We'll have a quick look at the current team and see what the squad is capable of going forward. We always arrange them in terms of highest value first. So you can see you've got Scott Bain. He's valued at 7.5 million now. Very good, man. That's I'd cash out on that. You've got Ryan McLaughlin, George Saville, 29-year-old non-Irishman, worth 7 million. Jamie Burjonas worth 6. A lot of players here worth a lot of money for Hibernian. Kenny McLean up to 2 million now. Looks like he's been listed. Simon Murray's also been listed. But you just look, if you look at the value of this Hib squad, it's definitely went up for, when it first starts. So this is 5 years of progress, no doubt about it. But can they progress in the next 5 years? You're going to have to check back once I do the 10 years experiment. And we'll see how Hib's got on. But as for now, guys, I've won 4 cups in 5 seasons. That is fantastic. No matter who you are, that's fantastic. So, well done, Steve Clark. Well done, Hibs. Let me know what team you want me to do next. And let me know what you thought of this season. Do you think this is something Hibs could do in real life? I think they're progressing well under Neil Lennon. I don't think he will get sacked in real life. But, I mean, if he did, and Steve Clark came in, why couldn't Steve Clark do this? Look at the job he's doing in Kilmarnock. He's doing absolutely amazing. So leave your thoughts down below, guys, and until next time, peace.